Welcome to Agenda Edina, a program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. A new accessible pedestrian bridge over Minnesota Highway 62 will include switchbacks rather than elevators. The current bridge, which does not meet Americans with Disabilities Act standards, was built in the 1960s and is owned and managed by the Minnesota Department of Transportation. The bridge is an important piece of infrastructure connecting the northeast and southeast parts of Edina. It is a critical connection for pedestrians and cyclists to safely access Rosland Park and its amenities, including the Edina Aquatic Center. The bridge was significantly damaged in 2022 when it was struck twice by trucks traveling on Highway 62. The second collision resulted in the closure of the bridge for most of 2022 until expensive temporary repairs were made in January 2023. Since that time, the city and MnDOT have been in discussions about replacing the bridge. Funding for the project has been secured with a successful state bonding request and MnDOT funds. After almost a year of community engagement, staff recommended a steel truss bridge with compliant access ramps be constructed.
We're looking at a steel truss bridge to span the entire highway and the frontage road of 64th, which you can see in the background. Using a steel truss bridge gives you that flexibility to just span long distances. We can get rid of that pier that's in the center of the highway, open up that space for MnDOT for any future highway expansions that they may have.
Cost to build the bridge with switchbacks is about the same as building it with elevators, but the difference in maintenance costs is substantial.
You're basically building two buildings on each side with HVAC, security, lighting, and then there's opportunities for stuff to happen in those buildings that you don't want to happen when you got people using them. So the maintenance 8 times more expensive, and the real big one is how are we going to remove snow from the bridge portion between the buildings. So that was a huge thing, is the cost. We would have to have special equipment. We couldn't use our typical big equipment that we do on sidewalks.
The City Council removed elevators from consideration and directed the engineering department to research higher quality architectural pedestrian bridges for future consideration. Edina, like most cities, is working to remove or at least control the various invasive species plaguing its parks and waterways. Buckthorn is a plant that is causing quite a bit of concern. Now, the arborists in park maintenance are getting some help to get ahead of the problem. Edina TV has more.
To the inexperienced eye, buckthorn looks like any other small tree.
So all of this in here is buckthorn. The kind of best thing to look at is here at the end of this branch. You'll see it right between those two buds is the thorn, or same on this one. You can see the two kind of end buds, and then there at the very end, that's a pretty definitive thorn.
Why is buckthorn considered an invasive species?
Buckthorn was brought over in the 1800s from Europe. It was originally used as a hedgerow. Now though it's gotten kind of out of control.
And, according to the USDA, invasive species are likely to be harmful.
Currently, buckthorn's competing with all the other native, naturalized trees that have been here for a long time. It's taking all their resources, kind of fills up the entire understory and starts, fighting for water and nutrients and chokes out the native tree species.
The damage is widespread in Bredesen. But come this spring, the city will expand its efforts to mitigate buckthorn growth in the park.
There's buckthorn throughout the city, and so we've been working in 5 priority parks where the city is leading, and then we also have volunteers that are helping us out in some of those parks as well.
And now the city is getting some help in the form of a Conservation Partners Legacy Grant through the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources. It's helping to restore Bredesen Park to its historic ecotype.
This is a cedar tree right here that's, probably about 30 feet tall that was just getting choked out before.
This $500,000 is more than double what we spend in a year maintaining the spaces that we already have. So it allows us to get a lot further, a lot quicker, where it would take us years just to get that funding secured. Now we can start that work right now.
The plan is to return the park to its original savanna ecosystem.
At the end of the project, we're going to have a lot healthier, more resilient landscape. We're going to welcome wildlife back into Bredesen Park that had left when it became invaded with Buckthorn.
The goal is to make Edina a more livable place for all native species, and of course, Edina residents. For Edina TV, I'm Tom Cornell.
Edina residents can properly dispose of their buckthorn shrubs for free during the semi-annual Buckthorn Dump. The spring dates are Saturday, May 18th and Sunday, May 19th. At the drop-off site, people must show a photo ID with a current Edina address. Commercial haulers must be accompanied by the resident they are working for. The city's Parks and Recreation Department has partnered with the Rotary Club of Edina on a pilot project to help save lives in the community. For many years, city facilities have had accessible automated external defibrillators, or AEDs, to empower people to provide medical assistance to sudden cardiac arrest victims until paramedics arrive. Now, the city is piloting a project to bring AEDs to its outdoor locations where the public gathers and exercises.
Pamela Park, it has so many uses. It's used for outdoor ice rinks, used for all sorts of athletics, and just general park users walking the paths, and just having this life-saving tool here is awesome for all the people that use this park.
The Rotary Club of Edina has funded the city's first save station at Pamela Park as one of its signature projects for the year.
We know firsthand that AEDs in public places save lives in emergencies, and Pamela Park is highly visited by people from outside of our community and inside of our community, where there's lots of activities taking place, and we want to be a part of that solution for saving lives.
The AED was installed in March, providing 24/7 access to anyone in need of life-saving assistance in the park.
Remove clothes from patient's chest.
When activated, the device provides easy-to-understand step-by-step verbal instructions in English and Spanish to help both adults and children. Additionally, it provides real-time reporting to Edina's dispatch center. I hope your spring is off to a great start. Thank you for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.